Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the C programming and data structures lecture. In this presentation, we will continue our discussion on application of stacks, nested brackets. This is part 2 of application of stacks, nested brackets. So without any further delay, let's get started. Actually, in this presentation, we will write a program to check the validity of the expression containing nested brackets. This means that now we are interested in writing a program to check the validity of the expression. Now, what do we mean by checking the validity of the expression? Checking the validity of the expression means we must check whether the expression is well balanced or not. Okay. And well balanced means that the brackets, the nested brackets must be well balanced. Okay. In the previous presentation, we have already seen the algorithm behind this. Now we will convert the algorithm to its equivalent C program. Okay. So without any further delay, let's move on. This is the algorithm I was talking about. We already know this algorithm from the previous presentation. According to this algorithm, we have to create an empty stack first. Then we have to scan the symbols of the expressions from left to right. This is what we have to do next. If the symbol is a left bracket, then push that symbol onto the stack. Or if it is the case that the symbol is a right bracket, then do the following. If the stack is empty, then print invalid expression right brackets are more than the left brackets. If it is the case that stack is not empty, then we must evaluate this else part, which means we must pop an element from the stack, and then after this, we must check this condition. If the popped bracket does not match with the right bracket, then we must print this message invalid expression missed match brackets. Now after this, if it is the case that we have scanned the whole expression and we didn't find any problem with it, then after this we must check this. If stack is empty, then we must print valid expression brackets are well balanced. Otherwise, we must print invalid expression left brackets are more than the right brackets. This is the complete algorithm, and now we have to convert this algorithm to its equivalent C program. We will convert this algorithm line by line. First, we will create an empty stack with the help of C program. Here I am selecting array data structure for creating an empty stack. And this is how it looks like. This is an array, right? You can see this that the name of this array is stack. And of course, the stack can hold maximum 100 elements because max is 100. As you can see this over here, I have defined max as 100. Correct? And this is an array of characters. Isn't that so? You can see the data type of this array is char. And here we have this top variable which is initialized to -1, which means that currently the stack is empty. This top variable will keep track of the topmost element of the stack. We already know this, right? Apart from this, we have these header files, these general header files, stdio.h, stdlib.h and string.h. We need this header file as well, string.h. You will see this in a moment that why it is required. We will actually use getS function, and getS is available in this header file string.h. And of course, this is the pictorial representation of stack, right? This is stack array, right? You can see this over here. This is an array. And here we have all these memory locations, right? And this ... represents that, of course, the stack has more memory locations. Obviously, the stack is capable of holding 100 characters. We already know this, that max is defined as 100. After this, of course, the next step is to define our main function. Inside the main function, we have this expr array, which will actually hold the whole expression entered by the user. Here you can see this that I have called this printf function, and I'm asking the user to enter the algebraic expression. Of course, I've passed the string to this printf function, which means that this expression will get printed onto the screen. And here you can see this that I have used this getS function. That's why I've told you that the string.h header file is required, because this getS is actually available over here in the string.h header file. We need this header file, right? Here we have this getS function, which will actually help us in receiving the expression inside this expr array. Actually, the expression entered by the user is a string only. Therefore, this getS function is required. That is, we need this getString function to get the whole string in this expr array. You can see the maximum size of this array is also max, which is 100. Now, of course, in the console window or in the command prompt, we will receive this message, enter the algebraic expression. Now we have to enter the algebraic expression. Let's say the expression is this. We have this expression. Let's say the user has entered this expression. This is left square bracket. This is left round bracket. We have this character A, then plus, then B. After this, we have this right round bracket and right square bracket. Correct? You can see that the expression is well balanced. Correct? Now after this, of course, we will receive the expression, this expression inside EXPR array. You can see this, that the expression is received character by character. Each character has its own memory location. You can clearly see this over here, right? Here we have this left square bracket, left round bracket, this character A, this character plus, we have this character B as well, we have this right round bracket, we have this right square bracket, and finally we have this \0, which actually indicates that the string is terminated over here. This is automatically added by the compiler, right? \0 indicates the end of the string, correct? Now we have this EXPR array with this expression, and of course we have this stack array as well, which is currently empty. Now of course the next step is to scan the symbols of the expressions from left to right. This is according to the algorithm. After creating the empty stack, we have to scan the symbols of the expressions from left to right. Isn't that so? For this purpose, we have to call this function checkBalanced, and we must pass the whole expression which we have received over here. Here we have to call this function for the purpose of checking this, whether the expression is well balanced or not. I don't want to write the whole code in this main function. I'm calling a separate function for this purpose. That is, I want to check whether the expression is well balanced or not. For this purpose, I'm calling checkBalanced function, and I'm passing EXPR, that is the whole expression, to this function. Here of course we have this balanced variable. As you can see this over here, I've declared this balanced variable, which is actually an integer variable. This balanced variable will either receive 0 or 1. 0 indicates that the expression is not balanced, not well balanced, okay? And 1 indicates that the expression is well balanced. As simple as that. Later on we will check the conditions accordingly. If the expression is not well balanced, we'll print something onto the screen, or if the expression is well balanced, then also we'll print something onto the screen, right? We'll add that later, but let's see the checkBalanced function first. This is how a checkBalanced function looks like. Here you can see that the return type of this function is int, because this function will return either 0 or 1 based on whether the expression is well balanced or not. Here of course I have declared this pointer, which must point to the expression, that is EXPR. Here we have this pointer to a character, which means that we have received the whole array inside our checkBalanced function. This whole array, okay? Now of course the next step is to actually put this thing. That is, we have to declare variable I, and we need this for loop as well. You can see this, that we are available with this array inside this function, right? We have this S pointer pointing to this array, which means we have received this whole array. Here we have this expression, right? Of course, we now need this for loop. This for loop is important. We have to run this for loop from 0 to strlen s. Now what do we mean by this? We know this, that strlen function will actually return the length of this particular string, right? Here of course I have passed s to it, which means that it will return the length of this string. You can see this, that length of the string is 7. Therefore, this strlen s will return 7. Correct? You can see this over here, that strlen s is actually 7. And of course the variable I is declared over here. This is the pictorial representation of variable I. We'll actually run this for loop from 0 to 6, which means we will run this for loop till the string is finished. Okay? We have to scan all the symbols of this expression. Isn't that so? For this purpose, this for loop is required. Scan the symbols of the expression from left to right. This means we need this for loop for this purpose in order to scan the symbols of the expression which we are available with. Now the next step is of course to check this. If it is the case that the symbol is a left bracket, we must push that symbol onto the stack. Here you can see this, that I is 0, which means that first we will scan this symbol. Isn't that so? We have encountered this symbol. After this, we must check this condition. This means that here in this for loop, we need to check this condition. Is it the case that si is equal to left square bracket? Or is it the case that si is equal to left curly bracket? Or is it the case that si is equal to left round bracket? If it is the case, then we must push si. As simple as that. This push function will take care of pushing the element onto the stack. We'll define this function later. We already know this, that how the push function works. This is not a big deal. Let's say this push function is capable enough to push the element onto the stack. Okay. Here we are checking this condition, is SI equal to left square bracket or left curly bracket or left round bracket, then we must push that symbol onto the stack. Here we know this that I is initially 0. We know this that now this I variable will hold 0. After this we must check this condition. Is I less than string len s? Obviously it is less than that. We know this that string len s is 7. We must check this condition, is 0 less than 7? Yes. We must continue and check this condition. Is SI equal to left square bracket or left curly bracket or left round bracket? We already know this that SI is actually equal to left square bracket. This is the first thing we have encountered, right? We know this already that SI, which is S0, is actually left square bracket. Therefore, we must push this symbol, this left square bracket, inside stack. As simple as that. This means that this memory location will hold left square bracket. Correct? You can see this right now. This memory location is holding left square bracket. Now after this, we must continue and increment our I variable. Now we must make it 1. After this, we must check this condition. Is 1 less than 7? Yes, 1 is less than 7. We must continue and check this condition. Is S1 equal to left square bracket? Is S1 equal to left curly bracket? Or is the case that S1 is equal to left round bracket? We must check this, right? We know this that S1 is left round bracket. You can clearly see this over here. S1 is left round bracket. We must continue and push this symbol, this left round bracket, inside stack. Correct? This is what this push function does. Here, of course, at this position, we'll get this left round bracket. Correct? And obviously, we have a top variable which must point to this memory location, which means that that top variable will hold the index of this particular memory location. We know this that index of this location is 1 and index of this location is 0. Although I haven't specified it over here, but it is quite clear, right? After this, we must increment I by 1. This becomes 2. Then we must check this condition. Is 2 less than 7? Yes. We must continue and check this condition. Is SI equal to left square bracket or left curly bracket or left round bracket? We must check this, right? We know this that S2 is character A. This is not a left square bracket or a left round bracket or a left curly bracket. We can clearly see this, right? Therefore, we must not push this symbol, this character A onto stack, right? After this again, we have to increment I by 1. We must make it 3. We must check this condition once again. Is 3 less than 7? We know this that 3 is less than 7. We must continue and check this condition. We know this that next character is this character plus, right? We must continue to increment our I variable and we must continue our for loop in this way, right? Of course, we'll skip this symbol also. And then after this, we encounter this symbol, isn't that so? We know this that at this point in time, I is 4. After this, we will have to increment I by 1. This becomes 5. We know this that S5 is a right round bracket, right? Now again, we know this that 5 is less than 7. We must continue. But we need a different condition to handle that. We know this that now we have encountered a right round bracket, correct? Of course, if the symbol is a right bracket, then we have to do the following, which means we have to put this condition. If SI is a right square bracket or right curly bracket or right round bracket, please remember this that we are considering these 3 different types of brackets, okay? There might be some more brackets, but we are considering these 3 brackets only for the simplicity purpose, okay? Now after checking this condition, we must continue and do the following. That is, if the stack is empty, then print invalid expression, right brackets are more than the left brackets, okay? We know this that if stack is empty, we must continue and print this message, right brackets are more than the left brackets, or we can simply write right brackets are more than the left. And we must return 0 from this particular function. Returning 0 means that we are saying this, that the expression is not well balanced. Correct? If stack is empty, this means that right brackets are more than the left brackets. Correct? We must return 0 at that time. It's very important. Under this condition, we have to check this condition. Is stack empty? This function will take care whether the stack is empty or not. This function will check this. Okay? We already know how to define this function. There is no problem in this case, right? We know how to define push function, pop function, is empty function. They are already clear to us. Now after this, we must continue and check this condition. If stack is not empty, then we must pop an element from the stack, which means we need else over here. Now you can see this that in this else construct, I am calling this pop function to pop an element from the stack. And of course I want to put that element somewhere, right? After receiving the element from this pop function, we must put that element inside some variable. Here you can see I've declared this variable. This variable is of character type. And of course I'm using it over here. This temp variable will hold the popped element. As simple as that. After this, we must check this. If the popped bracket does not match with the right bracket, if it is the case that the popped bracket, the bracket which we have popped, does not match with the right bracket, then we must print this message, invalid expression, mismatched brackets. This means that we need to check this condition. If not match char temp comma si, then print mismatched brackets and return 0 from this function. Okay. If it is the case that the temp is not matching with si, then we must print this message mismatched brackets. Okay. And we must return 0 from this function. Now we must check this condition. Is si equal to right square bracket or right curly bracket or right round bracket? We know this that si, that is S5, is actually equal to right round bracket. You can see this over here. S5 is right round bracket. We must continue and check this condition. Is stack empty? We know this that stack is not empty. Stack has two elements. Therefore, we must continue and evaluate the else part, which means that we have to pop an element from the stack and we have to put that element inside this temp variable. You can see that the topmost element of the stack is this, right? We know this that top variable is currently pointing to this location. This is not a pointer. This is a variable. Right now it is holding the index of this location. Okay. This is the topmost element. We must pop this, and this means that the top variable will now point to this location. And right now you can see that temp variable is holding this left round bracket. Okay. Now we have to check this. Is the case that the characters are matching? Is the case that the popped bracket is matching with the right bracket? Understand this, right? We know this that si is right round bracket and temp is actually holding the left round bracket. We know this that there is a match. Left round bracket is actually matching with right round bracket. There is a match. But we have to define this function match char, right? How to match these two characters? And what does this function will return? This is how this function looks like. Here we have this match char function and return type of this function is int. This function will also return either 0 or 1. Here you can see the parameter list. We have these two character variables a and b. Right now you can see this that a is holding this left round bracket and b is holding this right round bracket. We know this that there is a match, right? Here we are checking all three types of brackets. If a is a left square bracket and b is a right square bracket, then return 1. If a is a left curly bracket and b is a right curly bracket, then return 1. If it is the case that a is a left round bracket and b is a right round bracket, then also return 1. Otherwise return 0. Okay. This makes it clear that if there is a match, then return 1, otherwise return 0. Okay, we know this that there is a match, we must return 1, which means that here we will receive 1. And 1 means true. We know this that 1 means true, not of true is false. Therefore, this condition is not satisfied. We must not print this message mismatch brackets. As simple as that. It is clear, isn't that so? Now we must continue and increment our I variable. Now this becomes 6. We must check this condition. Is 6 less than 7? Yes, we know this that 6 is less than 7, right? We must continue and check this condition. Because we know this that at this point in time we do not have a left round bracket or left curly bracket or left square bracket. We either have a left round bracket, we either have a left square bracket, or we either have a left curly bracket. We know this that at this point in time si is actually equal to right square bracket because S6 is right square bracket. I is 6 at this point in time, right? Therefore, we must continue and check this condition. Is stack empty? We know this that stack is not empty. We have one element in the stack. Therefore, we must continue to evaluate the else part. We must pop an element from the stack. This means we'll pop this element out of the stack and we'll put this inside temp variable. As simple as that. Of course, we must continue and check this. Is temp matching with si? Right now you know this that si is actually a right square bracket. We know this that there is a match because temp is holding left square bracket. Correct? Here of course temp can be replaced by left square bracket and si can be replaced by right square bracket. Because S6 is right square bracket, we must replace this by right square bracket. We know this that there is a match, therefore this condition is not satisfied. You can clearly see this that these two character variables will receive these two characters, that is these two brackets, and of course there is a match. We must return 1 from here, which means that the condition is not satisfied. Because this is not of 1. Not of 1 means not of true. Not of true means false, right? We know this that this condition is not satisfied, therefore we will not print this message mismatch brackets. After this we have to increment this variable I, which means we make it 7. And then we must check this condition is 7 less than 7. We know this that condition is not satisfied. This means that we have scanned all the symbols of the current expression. Correct? I hope it is now clear to you how this for loop works, this whole thing works. Now we must see the algorithm. Let's see what we should do after this. After scanning all the symbols of the expression, we must check this condition. If stack is empty, then this means that the expression is valid. We must print this message brackets are well balanced. Okay, we know this. We have to check this condition first. After this, we have to check this condition. If stack is not empty, then we must print invalid expression left brackets are more than right brackets. As simple as that. Here, of course, we need to add code over here after this for loop, this code. That is, if stack is empty, then print brackets are well balanced and return 1. Otherwise, print left brackets are more than the right and return 0. Simple, right? We know this that at this point in time, stack is actually empty because top is -1. Therefore, we must print this message brackets are well balanced and we must return 1 from this particular function, is check balanced function, right? Of course, after this, we'll get this message, that is brackets are well balanced. We know this that we must return 1 from the function, which means that main function will receive 1. And this means that this balanced variable will receive 1. And now we will check this condition. If balanced is 1, then print the expression is valid. Otherwise, print the expression is not valid. We know this that balanced is 1. We must print this message, the expression is valid. Right? Balanced is actually equal to 1. We must print this message, the expression is valid. Which means that we will get this line, that is the expression is valid. And of course, we'll get this as well, that process returned 0. You can clearly see this that we got these two messages, brackets are well balanced and the expression is valid. Now let's see the whole code, the complete code in code blocks. Here you can see the complete code is available over here. We have all these header files, we have this max, we have this top variable, this stack array, we have these prototypes as well. Push, pop, is empty, is full, check balanced function. We have this match char function as well, right? We have this main function, of course. This is the definition of main function. Inside this main function, I have declared this expr array, this balanced variable, and of course, I am calling this printf function and I'm passing the string to it. Enter the algebraic expression. And of course, here we have this getS function as well, and I've passed expr to it. Then I have called this check balanced function and I have passed expr to it. This function will return either 0 or 1. Based on this, we'll check this condition. Is balanced equal to 1? Then print the expression is valid. Otherwise, print the expression is not valid. And of course, we finally have to return 0 from this function, right? Here we have this check balanced function. You can see the complete function over here. We already know how this function works. Here, of course, we have this code. If is empty, then print brackets are well balanced and return 1. Otherwise, print left brackets are more than the right and return 0. This code is written after this for loop. Okay. You can see this is the closing bracket of the for loop. You can clearly see this over here, right? You can see the highlight. This is the opening bracket of the for loop and this is the closing bracket. After this, we have this push function. We already know how this push function works. We have this pop function also. We have this is empty function, is full function. And we have this match char function. We obviously have to check this, whether the characters are matching or not. And here we are checking this, right? Now let's execute this code. Let's enter the same expression. Now let's press enter. You can see we got this message, brackets are well balanced, the expression is valid. Correct? Let's execute this code once again. This time we will enter an invalid expression. Let's say this only. You can see over here left brackets are more than the right. The expression is not valid. We are getting the correct message, isn't that so? Now I hope the whole code is clear to you. This is the complete code and everything is very clear. We got correct messages onto the screen and this means our code is working correctly. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this presentation.